What's up YouTube, it's your girl Sharon Strong. Now many of you all know that I'm a huge proponent of IIFYM, or if it fits your macros. Rather, the term I like to use is called flexible dieting. Now if you all guys want to know a little more about flexible dieting, I have done a couple of videos in the past on my channel which you can find here and here. Alright, so now I get asked by so many people on whether they should track their macros or how effective is flexible dieting. So in this video I'm going to list down the pros and cons of flexible dieting, so let's do it. Alright, so the first pro that I have in mind for flexible dieting would be in its name itself, the flexibility and the variety of food. With this style of eating, you're not restricting yourself from any kind of food. Alright, in theory, as long as it fits your caloric limit and your macros, everything is within limits. You don't have to stick to any prescribed food. You see, the human mind is weird. The minute you restrict something or you label something as off limits, you tend to want it more. So with flexible dieting, you tend to reduce the cravings that you get, and more importantly, you tend to reduce the number of times you binge eat and fall off the wagon. What is the single best diet plan? The one that you can enjoy and the one that you can stick to. So this would depend from person to person. But say if you're on an intermittent fasting style of dieting at the moment and you constantly find yourself eating during your fasting time, or say if you're on a low carb diet but you constantly have this carb binge every other day, then chances are that your diet does not suit your lifestyle. This is why I'm a big proponent of flexible dieting, because you can essentially follow this year round and tailor it to whatever your goals are. After spending about 2 years of tracking macros and scrutinizing food labels and weighing stuff, I could probably tell you approximately how many calories certain foods contain, and I could also tell you how many protein or how much fat certain foods have. So even if I don't have a scale lying around or I don't track every single detail, I pretty much know the quantity and the macro content of what I'm eating. This is one of the biggest pros of flexible dieting in my opinion. You see, earlier when I used to eat on this clean food routine, alright, if I had a bite of anything that was supposedly unhealthy like a chip or a cookie, I used to feel horrible about myself, more than the actual damage the food did. I used to just stress out and think like I messed up everything and my diet has gone to the dogs. But now with flexible dieting, all that psychological stress is eliminated and I can eat guilt-free. And another thing, like eating at restaurants and at social gatherings with family used to be a nightmare. I mean, your grandmother is not going to allow you to eat just broccoli and rice, right? But now with flexible dieting, it's really helped me hugely. Alright guys, so flexible dieting is great, but there are a few negative sides that you should consider if you plan on taking flexible dieting forward. Now, the first con that I see with flexible dieting is that some people tend to take it to the extreme when it comes to fitting foods in their diet. Forget the micronutrients, forget the vitamins, forget the fiber. That is the kind of person that only focuses on the macros of the food and not the quality. Remember you guys, that even the most ardent flexible dieter will make sure that his diet consists of mostly whole foods and only 10 to 20% of other foods that he wants to track into his diet. Flexible dieting is not an excuse to eat everything in sight with no regards for micronutrients. Secondly on the list of cons is that you cannot track every single item out there. Okay, not all restaurants list their calories, and foods like curries, Chinese food and even homemade food can be so hard to track. Okay, and then weighing that out and then entering every single item that you consume and eat can be really difficult. And lastly, I would say that some foods that are not considered clean and part of flexible dieting are sometimes really dense in calories. So if you're deep into your cutting period or you're prepping for a bodybuilding show, it can be really hard to fit those into your diet. That is why the so-called clean eating food is more preferable, because it gives more volume for lesser calories. So now that you guys know the basis of what is good and bad about flexible dieting, you should be able to make an informed decision of what kind of diet plan you intend to follow. For me, I like to keep it simple. I like to eat whole unprocessed food most of the time, while fitting in the fun kind of food, making sure that it fits my calorie intake. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do let me know down below what kind of diet style you prefer and what works for you. Do not forget to like and share this video. Until I see you next time, stay strong.